This is Blazers All Access, an inside look at UAB athletics. Presented by Pepsi, a Southern original, and by Viva Health, part of the UAB health system. Here's the voice of the Blazers, David Crane.
After an extended break in the action for the green and gold, we welcome you to Blazers All Access. A little bit different show this week, but we start with football and head coach Bill Clark. It'll be 4 weeks since your last game when you faced Southern Miss this Friday. Games against North Texas and UTEP canceled. How have you passed the time?
Practice, lifting, film. We tried to keep it interesting for our players. We took a trip to see the new stadium. So a lot of things that we tried to do to pass the time.
I would imagine it felt a little bit like fall practice in a way where you're just practicing, no real games to look forward to. How did you manage to keep them focused during this stretch?
Yeah, that's a good question. We did spread it out where we would have a day of practice, a day off, which was lifting and film. And, just like I said, tried to keep it spread out and make it as fun as possible.
Tyler Johnston returned against Louisiana Tech. Will he be back in the starting role against Southern Miss?
Yeah, he will. And, of course, that's been an ongoing process to watch him and Bryson battle it out, but he'll get the nod against Southern Miss.
He's a prime example, I would think, of you've had 4 weeks off. That's not a lot of fun, but injury recovery time for him in particular and a lot of other guys come in handy, I would think.
Yeah, we were bunged up, and specific to ankles. When you get some high ankle sprains, the only thing that fixes those is time. So we had 3 guys that had those, get them almost back well. And then, of course, just guys like Tyler just need the work.
Let's preview Southern Miss just a little bit. The Golden Eagles had some games canceled earlier in the season, but that's just one of the issues they've been struggling with in Hattiesburg. They're on their 3rd head coach of the year, Tim Billings, the latest interim leader. Have they changed much style-wise with all of the changes they've had in leadership?
I think if you really looked at their offense, quarterbacks. And I think what they've done, they've had the starter gets hurt, the backup comes in, plays well, gets hurt, the 3rd guy comes in, doesn't play bad. I think now the number 2 guy should be back. So I think a lot of that is them. I think you've also got a head coach who's probably got a little more of a defensive bent. They might have gotten a little more run-oriented, but not too far off.
It's a rivalry game. That makes it doesn't necessarily matter much about Southern Miss and what they're dealing with. It's about you and the Western Division chase, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, nothing has changed for us. We're still in first place. If we can win out, we'll be in the championship game. So that's been our goal the whole time. That's what we break it down on as champs. That's what we're working on. Southern Miss, I think, has got a good program, no doubt. Got to also look back to last year. We got a pretty good whip in there, so we hadn't forgot it. Potentially
the last game at Legion Field coming up on Friday. Have you thought about it much? Have you talked about it with the team very much?
We have. I think that's something as much success as we've had there, as good as it's been. The history of Legion Field, which we all know about, I think it's going to be special.
No game last week to highlight, so on this Thanksgiving week, we thought we'd go back and take a look at a memorable game from Legion Field against Southern Miss, and remember how thankful we were Spencer Brown ended things in overtime on a frosty night back in 2018.
Johnston has the snap, play fake, wants to throw, throws deep down the middle, hangs up in the air, caught down at the Southern Miss 40-yard line. Kalen Carter. Johnston the snap, play fake, wants to throw, lofts it near side, catch made at the 20-yard line and out of bounds. To throw, throws near side, caught Carter at the 30 and spun down at the 35. Breeze now here in the 3rd quarter. A little pressure, Blazers get a block. Ball spinning across the 15-yard line and will be loose, touched, and covered up by
Johnston. Sets to throw all day. Deep ball, near numbers into the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown! Kalen Carter stepping in front of Ty Williams, who had good coverage.
To the right, Watley drops to throw. Pressured, sacked again! Has the snap, looks, throws deep ball far side in the end zone, and it is intercepted in the end zone! Hands off Brown, Spencer to the 10, to the 5, touchdown!
Oh boy! Hey, Spencer Brown's been waiting for that all night long.
26-23 over the Golden Eagles.
The highlights are brought to you by Viva Health.
25% cash back with Pepcoin?
I like big bucks and I cannot lie. The kind of cash Pepcoin provides. When I walk down the aisle with a hungry face, seeing things that I want to taste, I get paid.
Earn 25% cash back now at pepcoin.com.
You weren't thinking about a Medicare plan back then, but at Viva Medicare, it's been on our mind for a long time. And we know a thing or two about making Medicare easy. That's why our plans have $0 copays for primary care physician visits. So when the time comes to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that focuses on the things you're passionate about, we'll be here for you. Viva Medicare. Enjoy life without the worry. Learn more at vivahealth.com/Medicare.
Sometimes you don't find your comfort zone. You create a new one. Regions can help with advice and tools to help you budget, save, and plan your financial future so you can brave a new beginning.
As we said, a little bit different show this week, coming off a second canceled game in football. So we're going to turn our attention now to basketball season, and happy to be joined by the new head coach of the Blazers, Andy Kennedy. And Coach, it seems like we're actually going to be playing a game on Wednesday, at least at this very moment.
That is certainly the hope. I know that our guys are tired of playing their teammates in the green and gold. We're tired of watching it, quite frankly. In order for us to take the next step and to see where we are, we need to face some outside competition. As you well know, under normal circumstances, there's scrimmages, there are exhibition games, there's a lot of things that you can do as dress rehearsals to get a feel for how your team is performing against someone other than themselves. We haven't had that opportunity yet, so we're certainly looking forward to that this Wednesday.
A lot of new faces on the roster. You inherited a couple of guys that are still around. How has the chemistry been at this point?
David, I've been really pleased with the way that our guys have approached this off season. From the pandemic, I get hired at the end of March. Pandemic hits. It took months for me to be face to face with the members of our team. We started working out at the end of July. Had a good 2-3 week period. They had a little break right before the fall term started. And since we've been back and been at it in earnest, again, guys are tired of the grind of going against one another. They're looking forward to game competition, as we all are. But I'm really, really pleased with their approach to this point. They've been attentive. They've been open to coaching. And again, we're pleased with where we are. Now it's time to take the next step.
Other than just see them compete against someone else, what are you most interested to see from your basketball team on Wednesday?
Well, we've got a lot of guys, as you said, 8 newcomers, 9 guys, if you count Kobe Jeffries, who was a redshirt here last year, 9 guys have never been in a Blazer uniform. So with that, I'm sure there's going to come some excitement. And, you know, when you put fans in the stands, even though it's certainly going to be limited this year, it's not going to be the atmosphere that we were all hoping for. We're going to have to bring our own energy. You hear that all the time, but that's even going to be true for home as well as road games. I'm just anxious to see how we respond to playing in a controlled environment with people there against another opponent, and how we can start coming together as a team.
You have been in this building a lot. You have been out on that floor a lot as a player, but on Wednesday you're going to walk out of that tunnel as the head coach. Have you thought about that and what that moment may be like?
You know, we were talking off air, Dave. This year's been so bizarre. And you would think this would be such a surreal moment for me, and having the opportunity to come into Bartow Arena in front of a crowded arena, excitement, everything being normal. Honestly, I probably won't even think about that until I make sure that Alcorn State is in Birmingham. I'll be literally sitting out. We literally will have somebody watching to make sure their bus pulls up, to make sure the officials are there. This is just so bizarre that it's going to have a different feeling. I'm sure when I'm in that moment, it'll hit me. But to this point, we're just trying to deal with day-to-day operations to get to Wednesday.
Leads me to my last question. You've got 2 games on the schedule, Wednesday and Saturday. You certainly hope all of these games get played. But flexibility is one of the words we've had to adopt a lot this year, isn't it?
Yeah, no question. You know, our team has been pretty disciplined. Obviously, COVID has affected us. We've had the quarantine issue. We've had the contact tracing issue. Just like everybody, we have certainly had our part in dealing with this virus. But what you can't control is what's happening with your opponent. You don't really know Are they dealing with something that at the last second they call and say, hey, we don't have enough guys to play? So there's so much unknown. I've got my assistant coaches that have dialed up some schools that are still looking for games, and you'd be shocked how many people are still looking for games at this phase of the timing. So if for some reason something cancels on us last second, we'll be scrambling around like football is doing to come up with an opponent. We're going to try to get in 27 as best we can because, again, that's what these kids signed up for, and we want to certainly provide that opportunity if possible.
Sure, great to have you here. Looking forward to Wednesday.
Thank you.
We'll check on the UAB women next on Blazers All Access.
Legacy is what you do every day. We try not only to help people with their financial legacies, we hope that we enrich their lives and help them become better people so that total package, at the end of the day, is something they can be proud of. We help them craft their legacy.
As we celebrate 100 years of women's suffrage, we reflect upon a time when we could not register to vote nor hold public office. But now, we have the privilege of representing the people of Alabama in the state legislature.
We must continue to educate and empower women because together we can continue to shatter records and overcome barriers.
Register to vote and obtain your photo ID so you too can exercise your right to vote on November 3rd.
This segment of Blazers All Access is sponsored by Children's of Alabama.
The UAB women will get basketball season started here on the South Side. Happy to be joined now by head coach Randy Norton. We talked about being flexible with Coach Kennedy as far as the schedule is concerned. You've already had to be flexible with the schedule, haven't you?
We have. Our first two opponents had to cancel on us because of COVID, but we found replacements, so we're good to go, and we're excited to play next Wednesday at 10:30 against Edward Waters.
Let's talk about the roster. Similar to the men in that you've got a fair amount of new faces, don't you?
We do. Out of our 14 players, 7 are new. 5 are freshmen. We've got a junior college transfer, and then we've got a young lady that's from southern Utah that will be a junior. So she got approved to play immediately, so that's a positive.
What excites you the most about this basketball team that you've seen so far?
Well, there's a newness to it. Anytime you have a young roster, it's almost like deja vu of starting over. We graduated an incredible senior class last year, and it reminds us a lot of when they were freshmen. But there's such an eagerness to learn. They're excited to play. I think that everyone appreciates just being able to play again, being shut down for so long.
That was something I would imagine as coaches in every sport that is playing or able to play, when you got the word, go ahead, schedule, you're going to play, that had to be such a great thing to be able to share with your team.
It was, and I felt like there were so many times on those Zoom calls, I would give them positive news, and then I'd have to call them back up and say, hey, we need to meet again. That's not going to happen. And that happened a lot to all of us during the pandemic, and so when we finally got the green light that we could play, I think it just gives all of us a greater appreciation to do what we get to do.
COVID notwithstanding, how has the preseason been?
We've had a great preseason. Again, there's a lot of teaching going on. We're really trying to focus on fundamentals and teaching our system. But it's a high IQ team, which is really exciting. They've really caught on to our system. And so we just need to play somebody. We've been playing each other now since we started workouts last September.
Nothing is normal, obviously, but do you feel this team is where most of your other teams have been leading into the first game of the year?
I think for the youth that we have, we are. Obviously, when you have a senior-dominated team, you're further along because they've been hearing the same thing since their freshman year, where this is a little bit we still got a lot of newness, a lot of teaching going on, but I do like where we're at, and again, excited to play.
Bright and early start on Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. here at Bartow Arena. Good luck this season.
Thank you, David.
Sometimes you don't find your comfort zone. You create a new one. Regions can help. with advice and tools to help you budget, save, and plan your financial future so you can brave a new beginning.
25% cash back with Pepcoin?
I like big bucks and I cannot lie. The kind of cash Pepcoin provides. When I walk down the aisle with a hungry face, seeing things that I want to taste, I get paid.
Earn 25% cash back now at Pepcoin.com.
I want you to close your eyes for just a second. I want you to think about what you want this season to be. What does it mean to you? What is it worth to you? Think about who you play for. We're building something special here. We're building it together. Commit to what you want to achieve, where we want to be, where we want to go. Commit to it. Now open your eyes. We can have all of that as long as it's together. Win is 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win is 1!
Legacy is what you do every day. We try not only to help people with their financial legacies, we hope that we enrich their lives and help them become better people so that that total package, at the end of the day, is something they can be proud of. We help them craft their legacy.
This segment of Blazers All Access is sponsored by Legacy Credit Union.
Don't forget, women's basketball tips things off Wednesday morning, 10:30 a.m. at Bartow Arena, and that leads into what is going to be a very busy broadcast week on the Blazers Sports Network. Andy Kennedy makes his UAB head coaching debut at 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, with Alcorn State visiting the Magic City. Pre-game coverage with Murray Bartow and me starts at 2 p.m., and you can hear all of the basketball action once again this season on 100.5 FM. Jocks 2. After a day of eating and being thankful, we'll head to Legion Field one more time on Friday. The Blazers and the Golden Eagles will kick at 11:30 a.m. The CBS Sports Network will televise the rivalry game. And our pregame coverage starts at 10:30 a.m. with the Pepsi pregame show. And as always, you can listen to the broadcast on Jocks 94.5 FM. We close out the week with hoops on Saturday afternoon. UAB welcomes Southeastern Louisiana to Bartow Arena for a 2 p.m. tip, and we'll be on the air starting at 1:30. My thanks to coaches Clark, Kennedy, and Norton for being here this week. We appreciate our great friends at Down in Front Productions for their outstanding work each and every week. And we thank you for tuning in. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. For all of us at the Blazers Sports Network, I'm David Crane. We appreciate you being with us. We'll see you next time right here on Blazers All Access.
Blazers All Access has been presented by Pepsi, a Southern original, and by Viva Health, part of the UAB Health System. This has been a production of the Blazers Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.